Hi, my name is Bussy David, and this is Life Stories with Bussy. We started Life Stories with Bussy 6 months ago, and a lot of people have shared their stories because they wanted counsel. They wanted people to advise them on what to do. Some have also shared their experiences so that other people can learn from their experiences. And a lot of people have commented. We've had feedbacks from a lot of people, and we just like to, just do a review. Like every business venture that you start, you want to do like a review in 6 months into the business, and that's what we want to do. So we're not going to take all the stories, but we'll take some major stories from the beginning, and we'll just give you some of the comments. Some comments are very professionally given, while some comments are really funny. So let's start with the first episode. The first episode that we did was my husband's friend is the father of my twins. Remember that story? So where the lady was already pregnant for someone before she got married to another person. Yeah, that's the story. And I'll just take the comments of Adebola Mobs. Adebola said, when anyone starts out with a lie, many more lies are bound to follow unless there's a determination to speak the truth. It is bad enough that afterwards she still had to submit to having sex with Jaye by blackmail. Her life will remain under blackmail unless she speaks the truth. She has to bite the bullet, otherwise it will go worse. Too bad, but that's the way it is. The truth. Another person gave her own advice. She said, life is sometimes too complicated to make judgments over another person's actions. I hope she has financial security because no one likes to be deceived and still stay to feel used. Okay, she just has to mention to her hobby and trust that it will stand by her. She did decide not to, then she should accept it. No one likes to be used. Remember that story where she didn't tell her husband that her husband wasn't the father of her twins, and then the guy who was really the father of the twins turned out to be her husband's friend, and then that one started blackmailing her, and then she had to sleep with the guy again. That's that story, and those are some of the comments that people gave. I'm going to take the last one. Alita Obiangeli says she should have waited till she got married to her UK-based boyfriend. She should have told him the truth while she was pregnant. It's either the guy marries her with or without the pregnancy. The truth will kill her husband, but she just has to speak the truth in order to avoid further blackmail from the father of the children. I mean, if you need to see the other comments on this particular story, the comments are there, but I just picked out some story. And basically what this story was just saying was that instead of her being blackmailed, she just tell the truth, and it's going to go two ways. Is that the guy gets angry, or the guy says, okay, you know what, let's weather this storm together, whichever way. But the gist was that she should have told the truth from the beginning. Then we had another story. Let me go to another story. Another big story of hers that we had there. I think this was one of the first story that got a lot of comments, and people were even there was a fight in the comment section because people were for and against. It's a story of Udi, who said that her father is a gateman and she had no issues with it. And Victoria Yerima said, please, those that blame Udi should be reasonable here, please. To allow her father work as a gateman means she has forgiven him. This is how we proliferate wicked parents act and expect them to be taken care of. Let karma take his place. And if you say Udi is wicked, you are not God to judge her. Udi, God bless you. God bless you. Leave him to die as a gateman. And if he's sick, once he exceeds his HMO limit, book it as a loan for him and deduct from his salary. We need to stop all this rubbish in the name of is your father or mother. They brought you to the world. Victoria Rima wasn't having it. Chima Rose said if she really doesn't want a relationship with her father, she should keep him away. Gate men are important to family safety. If her father has not changed and cannot be trusted, it shouldn't be at her gates. It's very risky. It's like putting her life in the hands of her enemy. Idoni Ezagbedo said, this story is very sad and extremely harsh to hear, let alone imagine. No one can be judged more harshly than the father, and rightly so. He said, personally, listening to this full story and thinking deeply, it would be better if she let her father stop that work and pay him that same salary as a stipend for him. Yes, no one is God. Neither does any man have jurisdiction over life, but it is what it is. It remains the man that gave her life, and with all his sins and manifold evils, she should not keep him as a gatesman in her home or office. The hair is 100% human, to forgive is indeed divine. Good day. Wow. Some people were not having it. Someone said that's not her father, as the man already disowned them. She has forgiven, and I don't see anything wrong with them living in peace. So much royalty coming from one man. God help us. Another person said, wow, the evil that men do, they say lives with them and not after them as it used to be. A very sad and unfortunate story. I wish she could just forgive her father in the true sense of it and take care of him as she should. That's what I would do in these circumstances. It's still her father, and true wrong doesn't make a right. And the last one I'm going to read is from a man called Kegbite said, he's as wicked as her father. Her father is wicked and evil to have done all that he did to his own family. However, what she didn't realize is that all her father's evil works led her to the height and destiny she's enjoying now. All she had to do was to teach him some life lessons. Also, if I was her husband, I would not agree to having my father-in-law as our gate man. I mean, there were lots of comments on this particular story, and you can still find them, in the comment section of this particular story. But let me just give you an update on this story. Udi just said that since everybody was, because she read the comments, and she said that since everybody was against her having a father as a gate man, she didn't see any big deal in it as far as she was concerned. She said that she let the man go, and they paid him off, and she has returned back to UK to be with our children. So she let the man go. So I don't know whether she's still seeing the man, but that's the update from Udi. There was also the story of Mr. Daryls. Can you remember? Who was madly in love with his mother-in-law. Can you remember that story? He said that he was madly in love with his mother-in-law and intended to leave his wife for the mom. And another comment from Adebola Mobs again. He said, I believe his mind is corrupted somehow or immature to differentiate between emotional compassion and love. It seems to fall easily into physical weakness when he comforts ladies who are under emotional trauma. If he is not careful, this will be his life pattern. What he is thinking of embarking upon is a taboo, and karma has its consequences. To be forewarned is to be foreharmed. Another person, Joseph Ayade, says, It is not a very happy story, and some lessons need to be learned. The presence of a parent may mean more than sending money many times, particularly in these days of internet, mobile phones, etc. Also, with the Sorosoke generation, that many of them see no reason to show respect or appreciation. Please, who falls in love with their mother-in-law? I think his frustrations have led him to this and spending too much time with an attractive and young Sade. I can already tell that his marriage can't be alive for another 24 months, if lucky. If Sade is equally in love with him, then Daryls is in bigger trouble. He has been unlucky with love, so if this unpopular love finds a way to click, he may have to give up all, go away with Sade, and start life again so it's worthwhile. Alternatively, he should just hang in with his wife till she goes away, forget his feelings for Sade, and accept it was an accident going too far. He is the one loving others and others acting as if they love him, yet they leave him at the end. So he should put love aside for some time till he's able to really understand how love works. So there are others, there are other comments, but in this particular guy's case, there was a therapist who saw his story. And the therapist asked to be connected to him, and so we connected the therapist to him, and so he's been in several sessions with the therapist. So he's actually responding to therapy and all that. Sade, the mother-in-law, has since gone back to the US. So the guy is in therapy and he is responding well. So this is a story that ended well, at least for Mr. Daryls. As for his wife, I have no update on the wife's issue. We also had the story of Taiwos, I think, whose husband was using spermicide to stop her from having children. And Jumoke Maswen says, life, they say, is an experience. She ought to have done a more proper investigation on him before their marriage. My advice is that she should move on. She will meet someone else who would be ready to start with her. This should be a lesson to other ladies to dig well before jumping. It is well with her. Another person said, I've heard about spermicide. How could she agree to marry a man with 4 children with different mothers We ladies have to be very careful, but nevertheless, God will connect us with the right man ordained for us. Couple MC says, this is so sad. Sometimes you wonder what planet this kind of men come from. You know, this comment about somebody saying that how could she agree to marry a man with 4 children from different mothers? We had an extensive debate. You know, some people and I had an extensive debate, and I was like, are you saying that somebody who has 4 children from different mothers shouldn't have a chance at love? And they were like, no, it's a it's a no deal. That once you see a man, I mean a man that has baby mamas, that the guy has problems, and those kind of guys should be, you know, people should run away from those kind of guys. And I was like, so are you saying that kind of man cannot genuinely fall in love, you know? But people were generally like, no, it's a red flag. That he has 4 children from different baby mamas is a red flag. So sorry, single men, if you have 4 children from different baby mamas, sorry, they say that you are not deserving of love. That's not what I said, is what they said. So you can read more in the comment section. There's also the story of the lady who got rid of her husband's baby mama by getting her married to another man. This story received a lot of, I mean, the woman in the story received a lot of accolades. People were shocked, like, wow, a woman would do that, you know. And, you know, when she saw, because, I mean, she read all the comments and I spoke to her after, she was like, well, that, you see, it was just God. She wasn't normally a patient person on a normal day, but that wisdom was from God, you know, and all that. But, I mean, people had comments. Someone said, DKH said she handled it well. And said, but one major problem is that she gave her husband permission to cheat. Clearly, he does not use protection. His baby mama also doesn't use protection when sleeping with other people. This is how sexually transmitted diseases spread. For me, I think that, I mean, with all that happened, I don't think that man will be sleeping outside any longer. But really, I think her giving the husband permission to cheat was just like a bait of some sort. Anti-Clothing said the wife is from another planet. The husband must never complain, even if she sends him to the market every day. He should count himself lucky. Isioma Odogu says, I dove my heart for the woman, but then again, she was able to achieve this because her husband came clean. There is this case I know. The husband's mother was the chief planner. She kept the girl in her house while her son planned and impregnated the girl so she could bear him a son, because he has 2 daughters from his wife, and wife isn't old that she couldn't bear more children. So they succeeded in having the male child. This is man's wickedness to man. I mean, see, already some people also telling us another story in the comment section. But basically, there were a lot of comments on this particular topic because people kind of admired the way the lady handled it. And then there was a story of, what's the name of this lady now? I can't remember her first name. Who said she'll be stupid to go back to her husband. Remember that, the one that the mother-in-law called her mom a witch? Yeah. There were loads of comments there. And, you know, people said some things like, Rolando Konko said, I always wonder how people get the heart for domestic violence. He said, I am almost happy for her that she didn't have a child for him. Someone said, this brought tears to my eyes. Yani Wura, indeed. This was in appreciation of what the girl's mom did. So you might want to take a look at, you know, the comment section to look at. There was also the story of Edmond Imbandiwe. That was one of my sweetest stories. I think I love that story. The story of Fade and Edmond Imbandiwe. That was one love story that was really cool. And it also had a lot of comments. Sharifa Atoni said, wow, this is such an outstanding story. I simply love it. James lost a gem, and Edmond had the foresight to recognize a very rare gem, even in its rough states. Anti-Clothing said again, happy for her. What nonsense code, referring to the bros code that they said he broke. I don't understand why some people will intentionally make a girl's life miserable and take undue advantage. If you don't love her, why don't you let her go? I wouldn't be surprised if the dude is still roaming about searching for a wife. So that was really, you know. And then let me go down to yes, this story, I'm convinced my mother-in-law killed my husband, was one of the stories that just went like wildfire. Now, and the beauty of the comment was not even on my YouTube page. It wasn't on the YouTube page. It was on my Instagram page. A lot of people were upset and angry at the same time, and people just came and they were throwing insults, and I was like, wow, and a lot of people found it unbelievable. They said it did not happen, but let me tell you, let me shock you today. I know all the people that were involved in the story, the late husband, the mother-in-law, the lady herself. I know them very well. So it was a story that really did happen. And I'll just show you some of the comments on my Instagram so that you can take a look at how angry and annoyed that people were. There was episode 23. I have another family outside, and my wife wants to die on top of the matter. Remember the story of the woman who had 2 children for her husband's friend? Yeah. And this was Joseph Ayade's comment. He said, "This is a very easy matter. The secret lover can keep their children, while he, the main man, and his newfound love raise their twins and his own children. No decisions to be made. I must applaud his courage and patience in the midst of the storm, and thankful to God he was able to execute his plan perfectly. Where is real love in this world today? Everyone seems to be looking for who to use." Another person said, "Wickedness of the highest level. She should calm down and face the music." Someone said, "Why do people hurt others when they are being hurt back? It's always difficult for them to accept it. The mother of the wife is shameless as well." Remember, this story was a story where the woman, it was discovered that the woman had 2 children for her husband's friend, and then she found out, and then she was sick and all that. That's the story. You'll find lots more comments in the comment section of our YouTube page. I think I should take this one before I go because it raised a lot of discussion. Sharifa Atsoni said, she said, "This is a further confirmation that so many Nigerian ladies have gone gaga. Trust me, no insult or any grammar you want to call it intended. So many Nigerian men are raising other men's children. It's that bad. Notice I didn't use the word bastard. That's because I personally do not believe that any child is one to be called bastard. Call me crazy if you want, but that's my belief. My dear, every child has a father. Just search and you find him. Lobaton. Nigeria will scatter if every household is compelled to carry out DNA tests on their children. Trust me when I say the wala no go ever finish. Mind you, it didn't just start 10 or 20 years ago. It started from way back, but only became more prevalent with civilization. 2 out of 4 is lucky now. What of if all the 4 turned out not to be easy? Unfortunately, this is how low we have sunk as a people, and it's truly heartbreaking." This also raised a lot of questions. One of the things I found out when we talked about this story was that a lot of people believe that a lot of men are raising children that are not their own. And I was like, really? As in, a lot of people believe that there are so many men raising children that do not belong to them. But because they have not done DNA, they don't know that. So I'm just like, are we Nigerian women that, are we that bad, But it raised a lot of questions, and I think a lot of people said the same thing, confirmed what Sharifa Atsoni said. There was also the story of the man who called his wife a pig. Can you remember that story? And that she's a pig and she's slothful. This was one story where the woman did not support Denike in any way. All the women had same thing to say. The husband should send her packing to her mother's house. That she was just a lazy person. They said she was a lazy person, that it had nothing to do with any village people following her, that she was just a lazy person. And a lot of women, like 90% of the people, just kept on saying, no, this woman is lazy, she should be sent back. And that was the first time I was going to see a gang up of women against another woman. and then saying that that woman should be sent home to her mother for home training and all that. There are more comments in our comment section, and I think that you would have a wonderful time going through them. One of the last stories I'm also going to talk about is that of the lady who said that help. She said help. I think I'm the only one in my marriage. I'm stuck. Remember that story of the lady Ellen, who her husband as a baby mama and her husband is no longer having anything to do with her. One comment caught my attention, and I'm going to read it, and that's the last comment I'm going to take today. So the person said, "My dear Japa, why don't you see this thing as an answered prayer? God has saved you, yet you don't see that God has saved you from a man whom his father knows more than you do. God used his father to try to stop you from going into that marriage." You continued. He then used childbirth to show you that the man. He then used childbirth to show you the man that you are married to, and you are still complaining. Should God come down to say? Should God come down to set you free? God has made you. God has even made you send message here to hear people's advices as well. No be pastor they married, yeah. Now you. So stand up. Start looking for a job. Just move on. You are not yet old. You want to be acting old. 46 years old, fine babe. Where men they look for. Sit down, hide inside house. If you be my sister, if I don't put you up for online marriage platform, make better men touchlight you. Biko, wake up and stand up. You don't try reach. Your real husband they wait for you, Jare. No waste time. I beg, you know. So I mean, there are loads and loads and loads of comments that you could read from, and most of them made a lot of sense. And this is just to also tell you that for all the stories that you watch, please don't forget to always put in your comments, in the comment sections, because we're reading everything. We're reading all the people who are sent in their stories. Read the comment sections to know what people are saying. So thank you very much. This 6 months has been an amazing journey, and I appreciate everyone who have subscribed, everyone who have dropped in comments, everyone who has sent in what feedbacks or the other. I mean, there are loads of feedbacks. Some came on my WhatsApp, some came on my Facebook DM, some came on my Instagram and all that, and we can't contain all the comments. Keep the comments coming, because we are reading, and I would always respond. By the way, thank you so much for being part of this journey for the last 6 months. Till next time when we come your way again with another story, it's bye for now. Before you leave, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you.